All right, man. Torture Talk After Hours. So we going to check in with Fantastic Hip Hop. See what he talking about. Drake. Hey, man. He back at it again. You know what I mean? And yeah, we gonna keep on covering this. We gonna keep on running with this. So let's keep it going. Yeah, Drake's back at it again, and he's out here dressing with a bonnet and all types of stuff. So you already know. And look at me. The king is back. Ah. All right, man. So let's get it going, man. Let's go.
Now when it comes to Drake. Well, now if you were ready to see how Drake has shown how mad of a loser he has become recently, and all while at the same time, well, beyond turning into the do the roar guy, he has stooped so low and become so pathetic that now people like Cenat are freestyling on stream and dissing him within a way that he is probably scared of? Be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and now really, as we are about to see how Drake has switched cultures yet again, and well, he has just continued to spiral in some of the funniest and most pathetic ways we have ever seen.
Yeah. Again, I'm telling y'all, this guy, he makes it seem like, again, the thing about Drake is he's out here acting as if he's still a kid. I'm just saying, he really is. A lot of y'all like, I'm not gonna see a lot of Drake fans making excuses for him, but he does. To me, it makes it seem like he's still a kid. It's just crazy to me. It's crazy.
Make sure to leave those likes, as right now, for the Cupcake Karen, we are at a point where it seems like the whole space-time continuum has shifted to a way where now once, while Drake was known as an actor and then a rapper and musician, he has now become such a joke that he really is best known for just being a clown on the internet. And at the same time, as Cenat has been dropping freestyles, sitting next to real MCs like Ray Vaughn from Top Dog Entertainment in the process, and just representing and doing more for hip-hop than he has, I don't know, it just feels like the roles are being reversed and Kai is more of a rapper than Drake is, which I guess is not saying too.
Yo, I seen the freestyle. It was funny. You know what I mean? I don't think it's enough for me to cover it, but it was funny. It was funny. It was funny. That's all I'm gonna say. It was funny.
When you think about who Drake has been, but we will get back to this later, because where we need to shift all of our efforts to is honestly, for Drake, one of the most pathetic things we have ever seen, but also one of the most memeable, as now Drake has been messed up and embarrassed so bad that when Tupac was going to his closet to put on...
That's crazy. He called him Tupac. I love it, man. I love it.
Clown uniform that he was going to pop back out with this time. Well, seemingly he went through all the uniforms and cultures that he could lean into and try to pander to get some sort of a sad acceptance from whoever is willing to let Drake anywhere near them. And when we go through the list, as Drake is no longer running back to the Six because they don't want him, and he's been kicked out of Atlanta, and they just made his clown costume unusable for the time being with all the drama they have going on. And of course, he can't go back to any place like LA or anywhere where hip-hop is sacred. Well, with all this and Drake being chased out of...
Yo, that's so crazy that he can't go back to LA. You know, Drake had made, he made this bed for himself. It's kind of like him coming out saying certain things, and now I just don't see him doing a concert now in America and it be kind of successful. I think you still gonna have people that's his fans. They're gonna come out. Let me stop capping. People gonna still come out and support him, but it's not going to be the same. Can he get a stadium pack? No, I doubt it. I highly doubt Drake can do a stadium. Like right now in the U.S., I don't think so.
everywhere in Europe on his mess of the Some Lazy Shows for You tour with fake crowds and booing that was surprisingly loud. Drake is genuinely going insane, and he is trying to cosplay another culture and event in Oktoberfest in a way that we have never seen anybody even try to this shamefully. Because really, when you see Drake get a custom Chanel outfit for Oktoberfest and he's trying to pop out in this, I mean, I know you're...
Oh man, I tell you, man. You Drake fans, y'all out here doing the most to defend him, boy. I tell you.
And I guess you have the weird connections that you do, but you still did have to put a lot of resources and effort into getting something like this, as opposed to something that anybody would just normally wear. And really, I know Drake thinks he's October's very own, but when you look like this, I mean, I don't even know what to say.
Yo, it's so crazy how all the dudes around him, they're supposed to be real, and this guy is just doing all this clown behavior. And they're just like, I just want to know what they're thinking. Like, it's just crazy to me.
Guy looks like the Do the Roar meme from Shrek, let's be real. And with Drake seemingly gearing up and getting ready to cosplay here like he only has ever done in the places where he has wanted to take the most from. Well, I mean, really, when you see in the matter of a few years, Drake went from making a song like 8 a.m. in Charlotte to Plastered in Germany. What I have to say is seeing this content of Drake going out to Oktoberfest, him and all the OVO losers not knowing how to act in a setting like this while also trying to emulate their culture but not actually emulating their culture and acting like they are in a club, which I don't care what you say, when you see these guys standing around, it just shows that they would be some of the worst people to hang out with. I mean, really, when you see all of this and see this content of Drake and all the OVO losers just getting deeper and deeper into the night, and let's just say it like this, with the more content that was coming out, you can see through Drake's very eyes how messed up this guy was and how bad Kendrick Lamar has just turned him into a walking letter L. Well, really, for Drake, this is just so funny because at this point, and even with how the internet is reacting to and embracing all of this happening, nobody is even taking this guy seriously anymore, and his entire perception and status has been so tarnished and just looked down on that he has just reached new levels in terms of being the all-time #1 leading scorer in the Legion of Lames. And really, when you just see Drake moving like this and trying to have a time, but you know that he is putting this all over his social media pages to try and send some sort of a weird message with all of this.
Yeah, I don't understand why he's doing that either. Like, why you, I mean, for some people, this is him having fun. A lot of people say, well, gotta understand, he out here having a good time. He's living his life. I get it, but as a man, I don't know. Certain things I'll just stay away from if I was him. That's just me.
I mean, nobody is taking you seriously anymore, and you are at the point where for looking like this, you are only going to get called a goof, as really with how much of a joke that you have became, you make somebody like Drewski look like Denzel Washington with how little respect you command from everywhere, because no matter what you want to say, when you see Drake pose like this and his buddies got their cameras all putting these things up on social media to try and impress everybody, I guess? I mean, come on, you know they're not doing these things because they want to have a pure good time, but it's because every single thing for them is content, and with every move Drake is making more than ever, he is trying to show that he is fun and he can be this influencer thing that he really is trying to step into more and more. And I guess he's also just trying to act like he is having fun on this tour that we have made fun of him for being on pretty much for this entire year at this point. And speaking of this tour, I really do think when we see the madness that Drake is going through right now, as we literally do know that Drake is stuck on the road and he is probably fed up from being put into a deal where once he thought he was the man for it, but now he is stuck doing shows in arenas in places that he never wanted to go back to. Well, when you just put it like that,
yeah, it definitely seems like he don't want to be doing these shows anymore. I've seen a couple of clips where he looks like he's just tired. And I think the reason why is because he's obligated to do all these things. Like, Drake's been obligated to do all of this stuff for a long time. I remember at one point Drake was signed to 5 different labels at one point. Like, they was really pimping Drake out. And a lot of people could say whatever they want, but he definitely has a lot going on. A lot.
this is why he is at Oktoberfest, which the purpose of this is just to forget about every single thing that's happened and is still happening, and just all of the L's which he has taken, which I guess I can't blame him for if we look at it from that perspective, because genuinely, this is the face of a guy whose career is in the total gutter. And when we see Drake just trying to forget about all that has happened, to say the very least, in moments like these with his weirdo OVO buddies, well, I guess to give Drake something, he probably did have a better night out here than usual, because at a real Oktoberfest, I'm sure they didn't play Not Like Us, and it wasn't because that OVO and Drake's people had to force whoever was doing the music not to do so. And really for Drake, when we see this and see him become the ultra panderers, he is even letting these women walk him out to these shows, which just look at this. Well, what we really are seeing is that all these losses have genuinely made Drake go so mad, and I don't even know if he realizes it or not, or if he is just trying to spiral further and further because he has no other control over his own impulse, but he has never made himself look like a bigger joke out here as a result. And now...
Yeah, see, I noticed what he's doing. He's trying to... Thing about Drake is he still has some type of power, and what he's doing is he's going everywhere where he feels like he's culturally accepted, and and I don't want to make this on race thing, because I don't think it's a race thing, to be honest with you. I think black people love Drake as much as white people, so it ain't no race thing. It's just he's going where he feel like he's welcome. You know what I'm saying? That's just what I believe. I think he's going to where he feel like he's welcome right now, but truth be told, he put himself in this situation. It's not everybody else, it's actually him who did it.
Of being a joke? Well, now, while the next piece of news, which is about to drop after this, is only going to bring things down even worse for the Cupcake and show how bad Drake's brand has just taken a hit. But before we address that in the near future, well, speaking of Drake being sad and his brand taking hits while having no hits, we have gotten to a point in the Drake downfall where things have gotten so terrible that Drake hasn't just morphed into a cultural cosplayer worse than we have ever seen, but he's also just showing signs of having a Hall of Fame level crash out worse than ever. As for the Cupcake Karen, he has turned into an Etsy merchant or something like that, because seriously, with Drake...
Come on, Drake. Come on, homie.
Up like
Come on, homie. Come on, homie. Come on, homeboy. Come on, homeboy. Come on, man. You gotta chill, bro.
Have gotten so terrible that Drake hasn't just morphed into a cultural cosplayer worse than we have ever seen, but he's also just showing signs of having a Hall of Fame level crash out worse than ever. As for the Cupcake Karen, he has turned into an...
Come on, bro. Come on, broski. Come on, bro. Listen, I know it's hard for you guys to defend him when he does stuff like this. This is insane. I know it's hard. I know. I'm sorry. I know it's hard. But come on, bro. Come on, bro. Come on, man.
Merchant or something like that, because seriously, with Drake posting up like this, and yes, you were seeing this right, this is a near 40-year-old man wearing a CLB bonnet, and he put this on his social media page for everybody to see. So again, this isn't a genuine thing he is doing, but he's fishing for attention. I mean, I have to say for Drake, whatever Karen taught him how to really Karen max like this is genuinely mind-boggling. And really, when you just see all of this, there is no other way to put it, but the Cupcake has just been overbaked, and this guy has really just trashed himself and shown that he is the biggest loser and weirdo that you could ever imagine. Well, when you see everything falling down for him, and really what was once considered in the industry a musical empire just in the state of trash and decay that it is, well, when you see Drake seemingly respond to all of the pressure and
This is like, come on, bro. This, you can't be serious, bro. You can't be serious, bro. Nah, bro. I feel sorry for Drake fans, man. It's very difficult to defend something like this. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Drake, you heard it here first, and this is just me, honest. I think Drake's gay. I'm not gonna lie. I think he's gonna come out soon. And that's gonna be that. I think he's waiting for the right time to do it, but I think he is. I think he's a secret buttocks fondler. I think that's what he is. You know what I mean?
That he has been getting by doing things like this, you just ask yourself, like, do you even have the slightest sense of urgency to make things just a little bit better? But of course, we do know the answer to that, which it's obviously no, because otherwise you wouldn't be doing something like this in the first place. And now between this and this, there's already been enough Drake comedy to last us for the rest of the year, because genuinely this is just an atrocity. We are not done yet, because speaking of Drake becoming the biggest joke ever, well, now what we have seen in between having too much fun at Oktoberfest and just really turning into the Super Max Karen is that with Cenat, after Drake dissed him and called him out over his reaction to Iceman Episode 3 because he didn't like the piece of trash like the rest of us didn't, well, Cenat has still continued to stream and do his thing, while Drake is forgetting that he is a rapper on the worst tour of all time and he is just trying to drown his sorrows in whatever this is. Kai is spending way more time doing anything that
Yeah, his tour isn't really doing as well as people expect. I know a lot of people be out here defending Drake when it comes to certain things, but you just gotta be honest about certain things. He's just not who he used to be. His old work is definitely carrying him, but his new work isn't there. It just isn't there.
Remotely resembles hip-hop than Drake really has in years. As with what Kai has been doing, he has had on-the-radar freestyles with Gabe P during his streams, and I gotta give him credit, he's had so many different MCs up there just putting on shows and letting them show off their lyrical skills to his massive audience, and with that, well, in between seeing some actual talented MCs like Ray Vaughn from TDE who was there, we have also seen Cenat rap himself and get some bars off, and with this in a freestyle where you heard how little he actually knew how to rap, there was one thing that he either rehearsed in his head or that he knew he wanted to say, which was calling out Drake with some Degrassi references by saying this.
Yeah, that was pretty funny, I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, he got that off. That was pretty funny. But that boy in the wheelchair, they did Degrassi. I don't know what that means. I know what Degrassi is, but oh man, that's funny as hell.
With this, when you see that Cenat of all people has stood up to Drake and put this little diss his way, Cupcake has just never looked worse, and I think I speak for all of us when I say that we all know that genuinely the Cupcake Karen has been so embarrassing that you almost really do think that if Drake decided to engage with these few bars that Cenat has given him, I mean, at the very least, Kai may actually have a chance to add another L to Drake's resume and jacket. But now beyond that, when you genuinely see Kai step up in the booth and drop these bars and make fun of Jimmy Brooks and drop the Degrassi line, which again, you all know what this is alluding to and what it means, I think Kai has taken a page out of a lot of people's books and he is trying to send Drake a sneak diss which will reach him and whoever else is paying attention, but he does not want to create something that is going to create this huge viral spectacle. Because really, when we break down this little jab, he is showing the Oktoberfest man, or whatever we're even calling him at this point, that he is somebody who can get messed up lyrically to some extent, even from somebody who is just flat out a streamer, and when you hear him rap, I mean, the guy's got no flow and got no sort of cadence or pocket, but he still has a bar that's better than anything Drake has said competitively in about a year, because at the end of the day, Kai hasn't cried and filed paperwork like an all-time loser.
I gotta respect Kai, because when he seen that Drake dissed him, he called him. I respect that. I don't know if him and Drake actually had a conversation after that, but you gotta respect that. He called him right away. And he called him twice.
With this and this entire situation, what I have to say now is as Drake is finishing up his tour and he's doing all these weird things, but he is going to eventually touch back home, and we're going to see how he decides to move from the mess that he has just been creating and digging up more and more since he went on the road. It will be very telling to see how now that we are in the Iceman era and Drake is seemingly fixated on putting all of his efforts toward not dissing people like Kendrick Lamar directly, but these other figures who don't have the lyrical prowess to humiliate him like a Kendrick or a Pusha T did in the past. Well, now, as we already know that things have not been good between Drake and Kai, and we do know that Drake has been trying to pander to other streamers and kind of sneak diss him, not just in the Aiden Rosses of the world, but now also with names like IShowSpeed. Just seeing this, it does make you wonder if Drake is going to be giving the DeMar DeRozan and LeBron James treatment to Kai Cenat very soon. Which again, for Drake, I do think that this is a better matchup than for any rapper he could go against because, well, just look at where we are. But seriously, if this is the path that he chooses to go on and this is really what he is trying to engulf himself within, I don't care how you want to say it or how you want to put it. It is going to be pathetic because already with streamers being comfortable enough and thinking that you are such a joke that they are even saying things like this, I mean, to get dissed by Kai Cenat, this is just another low for the Cupcake Karen. But what I will say is that, again, as we are at a point where Drake dressing up like the Shrek guy is making more noise and getting more news than the song he just dropped not even a few days before this. And
that's a fact. That's a fact. He's getting more coverage about how he looks than his actual music. I don't know if y'all even paid attention to that. That's a fact.
Also, just look at the music and the experiences that actually involve hip-hop more, as Kendrick Lamar goes viral for pretty much everything he does when he's on his stage, and nobody talks about Drake's tour unless it's a failure because the shows are just so boring, people don't even want to show other clips. I mean, again, it makes sense why Drake is wearing one of the worst album covers on his head, like he is studying to be the greatest Karen of all time. And so with that, when we just see that this is who he wants to be, I don't know what else to say, but if this is where we are headed and he is really trying to embark fully on this influencer thing, well, you know what I have to say to Drake here, and this may surprise some of you? Keep it coming, because not just is what we are seeing from the Cupcake funnier than anything else he has done on the mic because of how goofy it really is and how much everybody just sees he's a joke now, but beyond that, I have to say that he does seem like he is clearly better at dressing up for Oktoberfest and looking like a loser there than you ever have been at getting on the mic and trying to be tough there. And really, you should just see this now, because really, if you crashing out in a public space like this is garnering more buzz than a song you just released, well then you really do have to question what profession you are in. And so now with all this said, let me know.
Now, with all this said, let me know. All right, man. So, look. Thank y'all for joining me. But, yeah, man. This is what it is. Y'all see what it is, man. He's wearing bonnets now. Listen, man. Listen, man. I don't know what to tell you. The man wearing a bonnet. If you're a Drake fan, we're gonna have a nice little discussion about that bonnet. You know what I'm saying? I just want to see how you defend it, so. Thank y'all for joining me. I appreciate y'all. I'll see y'all on the next one. Torture Talk After Hours. Peace. Bye.